So this week we're talking all about strategy and human resource planning. And hey, I just want to let you know you're doing great. We've already covered a few concepts about strategy and how it relates to human resource management. We're going to walk through the 6 steps in strategic planning this week, starting with mission, vision, and values. We've defined strategy as the long-term plan for a business. But let's think about strategy in our own lives for a few minutes. If you think about strategic planning, you had a strategy for performing well in college before you got here. And strategy is all about making a plan to achieve your goals. When we set our long-term strategy for coming to college, so the long-term strategy is to graduate, or to graduate so that you can obtain a job in your field. You could then break down this strategy into some goals. You could have these in terms of steps to achieving your goals. And you could probably further break these down into hourly, daily, weekly, or monthly goals that would help you achieve your overall strategy. The breaking down of a strategy into measurable steps is similar to what we do in business. We set the overarching or long-term strategy for our company, and then using that, we're able to break that down into smaller bite-sized goals to make sure that we are on track for achieving that overarching strategy. The strategy is critical to set because it is helping us make a plan to achieve all of our goals along the way. And without it, we're a bit directionless. Strategic planning then is the procedure for making decisions about our long-term goals and strategies. And as we've already covered, this links directly to human resource planning because we have to make sure that we have the right people in place that are going to support our strategic plan. The strategic human resource management, which sounds like a bit of a mouthful, SHRM, is the pattern of human resource deployment and activities that enable a company to achieve their strategic goals. There are 2 pieces to this. There's strategy formation, and that really is looking at what is possible in terms of the type and the number of people that we have available. The second piece is implementing our strategy, so making decisions about the structure of our people, the processes, and human resources to support the strategy. This is a nice illustration of the strategic planning framework because it demonstrates how strategic planning starts at the very top with something called a mission and values, our value proposition, and our overall strategy and goals. It basically answers the question of who are we? Once a business has answered that, there starts to be a trickle-down effect, saying, where are we going? How are we going to get there? And then a process of constant reevaluation and holding ourselves accountable to make sure that we are on track. This leads nicely into our first step of looking at this first piece of mission, vision, and values. This is the first step in the strategic planning process. It starts at the very top because once we can set our mission, vision, and values, we can start to trickle these down through the layers of our organization to make sure that we are setting a strong strategic plan. So what is the mission? This is the basic purpose of the organization, as well as its scope of operations. The mission statement for an organization answers the basic question of why does this company exist? And also does help identify some of its scope. It's further enhanced by the company's strategic vision, which is its future direction about where it's going, which clarifies the long-term direction of the company and its strategic intent. Finally, there are core values of the organization or the bedrock beliefs and principles that define what is important to an organization and provide a foundation on which the organization makes its decisions. These values identify how a company will act towards its customers, employees, and the public in general. The mission, vision, and values are boiled down into something called a mission statement. And you may have heard of these before from either company mission statements, but even people can identify our own personal mission statements by boiling these things down. A mission statement should do a few things if it's well written, although I will caution you that not all mission statements are well written. If they are, though, they offer three things. The first thing is they offer a clear direction and a challenging and compelling picture for the future. Now, they don't necessarily spell out exactly where the company is going, but they are forward-looking in their language. The second is that it connects with all of the stakeholders. Stakeholders are both the employees that work for the company, so people inside the business, but they are also people outside the business, so your suppliers, your vendors, your customers. And the third thing, probably the most difficult thing when writing a mission statement, is that it should provide some inspiration to those that hear it or read it. I call this the little bit of fairy dust that gets sprinkled on the mission statement. When you read it, it should almost make your heart beat a little bit faster or take your breath away. You should think, wow, I want to be involved with that company, that business, and get involved somehow. Let's do a little game of who does this belong to? Or who said that? I'm going to read a few mission statements and I'll pause for a minute to challenge you to see if you can identify who the company is just based on their mission statement. Again, it should give you some indication of who they are, what they stand for, some direction and compelling vision of the future, should connect to you as a stakeholder, and hopefully provide a little bit of that fairy dust or inspiration. The first one, to be Earth's most customer-centric company, where customers can find and discover anything they might want to buy online, and endeavors to offer its customers the lowest possible price. Who do you think this belongs to? If you said Amazon, you are correct. I just want to highlight for a second, every word chosen as part of a mission statement is well thought out. Amazon doesn't want to be North America or a global. They want to be Earth's most customer-centric company. And notice how they say where customers can find and discover anything they might want to buy online. Definitely forward-looking, definitely some connection to you as a stakeholder, and I think gives us that little bit of fairy dust, that little bit of inspiration, because they talk about the words like Earth's most customer-centric company, where customers get the lowest possible prices. Sounds pretty amazing to me. Here's another one. To give everyone the power to create and share ideas and information instantly without barriers. If you said Twitter, you were correct. Let's try another one. To build the web's most convenient, secure, cost-effective payment solution. Hopefully you're shouting this out. PayPal. This one. This one's a bit tougher. Maintaining a global viewpoint, we are dedicated to supplying products of the highest quality, yet at a reasonable price for worldwide customer satisfaction. This is a tough one. I'm going to give you a hint. It's a car manufacturer. Did you guess Honda? Think about where Honda puts itself in the market. They're definitely a global company, so they talk about maintaining a global viewpoint. They are dedicated to supplying products of the highest quality, yet at a reasonable price for worldwide customer satisfaction. I would agree that that mission statement certainly lines up with who they are, where they're going in terms of connecting with their stakeholders. Does it provide inspiration, that little bit of fairy dust? Well, I don't know. I'll leave that for you to decide. A company's mission statement, which, as I said before, is an expression of its vision, values, and goals, should influence human resource management strategy within the business. What do I mean by that? Well, if we go back to those 9 pillars of HR, recruiting and hiring, salary and benefits, employee discipline, training and development, health and safety, employee retention and morale, succession planning, job analysis and design, and strategic planning, I should be able to take a look at my company's mission statement. And if I work in HR, that mission statement should be the guiding pillar as I make decisions in any and all of these areas. Let's look at this one together. As we've just explored, Honda's mission statement, which is about maintaining a global viewpoint, supplying products at the highest quality and a reasonable price, and worldwide customer satisfaction. If I work in recruiting and hiring at Honda, for instance, how would this mission statement perhaps shape some of my decisions or goals or the type of people that I want to hire? Well, you could argue that certainly if I'm trying to maintain a global viewpoint, the inside of my business should look like the outside of my business. So I should hire people with a very diverse background, people from around the world, because they would help service my customers in that global viewpoint. You could also say, if I'm dedicated to supplying products of the highest quality, then I want people that are extremely detail oriented and have experience working in high quality manufacturing. The second thing is salary and benefits. How would my mission statement shape my salary and benefits? Well, you could draw the line or parallel to say that those that help me provide the highest quality and yet keep costs down to provide reasonable prices should be paid the most within my organization. So I would reward people that help me achieve my mission statement. The opposite then, employee discipline, is I should be disciplining people that are not helping me achieve my mission statement. For training and development, to maintain a global viewpoint, I need to make sure that I am investing in training my employees so that they understand what's going on around the world globally and help me continue to achieve the highest quality and keep prices down. So my training and development would focus really in these areas to support my mission statement. For health and safety, again, products with the highest quality and at reasonable prices, so low cost, I would be focused very heavily on health and safety to ensure that I'm meeting the demands in both of those areas. For employee retention and morale, I want to keep the best employees that are helping me to achieve my mission statement. Succession planning, which we haven't talked about yet, but I want to make sure that with succession planning, which is the plan putting in place for my key top people, if they were to leave the company for whatever reason, if they were to retire, win the lottery, or die, that I have someone else in place to take their job. I would make sure from a succession planning standpoint that all of my top leaders understand and continue to demonstrate my mission statement in all the decisions that they do. Last but not least, job analysis and design, which we're going to cover in a few weeks, is all about creating job descriptions and creating employee satisfaction and increased productivity in the jobs. Again, those would be highly focused on providing products with high quality and keeping costs low, as well as people who have a global viewpoint. And last but not least, I would tie my mission statement very well into my strategic plan. So any decisions that I'm making, long-term goals that I'm setting, should support this idea of a global viewpoint that the company has, should support the plan of highest quality products and reasonable prices. So strategic planning ties in very well with your mission statement, and that the two of them should go hand in hand together. You should never be making decisions or setting goals around your strategic plan that is contrary or opposite to your mission statement. I hope that helps. The next piece of strategic planning is all about external analysis. This is step 2 in the strategic plan. I have a little bit of reading for you to do, and then we're going to jump back into the lesson again.